Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Ageless in America. I'm Lou Wilson.
And I'm Anna Johnson, and we're delighted to have you with us today.
We really are, and we got some great things coming on the show. But first, it's the 50th anniversary of Medicare and Medicaid and the 80th anniversary of Social Security.
Wow, that's great. You know, those are two really great programs that have had a tremendous effect on our older Americans and definitely improved the lives of so many of our senior citizens.
It really has.
And I heard I heard a statistic recently that 70% of retirees depend on Social Security for their income, and it's kind of staggering, you know.
I know. We've got to keep that going, though.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about Social Security issues a little later on in the show. First, our show is jam-packed, full of great things, so let's get this party started. And in the show today, Anna and I are going to be in the kitchen, where I don my chef hat, and we're going to serve up a healthy plate that you can eat for lunch or dinner. We're going to be cooking, well, not really cooking, but we're going to be stirring up a delicious recipe involving Florida vegetables and fresh seafood.
He's a pretty good cook, too. And if you want to learn a little bit more about technology and the technology world, we'll watch a mom's son teach her about buying a new computer and transferring data in what we call the digital minute.
Then we're going to learn about the legacy of a man who became synonymous with Florida senior issues and some of their great works.
Wow. Now, we're going to start off the show with a little music. Music has been known to soothe just about anything, especially for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. Recently, I sat down with world-renowned pianist Marvin Goldstein, who shares with us the power of music and how it can spark compelling outcomes, and he is also interested in helping veterans.
Let's take a look.
Marvin is a concert pianist and has played all over the world, and music is your life, is it not, Marvin?
Music is my life, Anna. I've enjoyed decades and decades of interacting with people with music and watching and seeing how it affects them.
It's magic. In one word, it is magic, but you've done some research on what it can do for patients with Alzheimer's and dementia. Tell us about that.
I have been in situations where I maintained without really knowing for sure that music could unlock their minds, that could bring them forward into a conscious way to communicate with people they were standing next to or nurses that they were with. And I would play music for patients, and they would be different. They would be more awake. They would be more animated. They would be moving their limbs that haven't moved for a while. And research currently has where that is so true that unlocking their minds as a restore point would on a computer that has a virus brings them forward to a time where they could communicate and feel strong emotional ties.
A special moment in their life. Can you give us an example of what might make that connection?
A song like this would certainly have a broad appeal.
Maybe another example?
Okay, here's another one.
Thanks, Anna and Marvin, for sharing the connection between music and Alzheimer's research. Marvin Goldstein is also very passionate about our nation's veterans. He recently teamed with composer Roger Stevens and Grammy Award-winning country music artist Billy Dean to publicly perform a special tribute song. Let's take a look.
first time that he fought was for his country, when he left in '68 for Vietnam. He willingly left all his friends and family, 'cause he heard the pleading voice of Uncle Sam. And on that fateful night, when he almost lost his life, he knew right then he'd never be the same. Now the soldier fears defeat as he shuffles on the street, as he looks up to the heavens and the rain. And the faded purple heart that he holds on to is the only recognition of a man who gave up every dream that he ever had, so that we could still have freedom in this land. And in the sleepless nights, he relives those memories, this wounded warrior struggling to survive. I guess that you could say it kinda took him by surprise, 'cause the last thing that he thought he'd have to fight for was his pride. Oh, was his pride. You'll see him in our towns and in our cities, and you might not feel his pain as he walks by. For words alone just cannot tell his story, but you'll see it if he looks you in the eye.
Well, welcome back to Ageless in America. Well, right now we have a great recipe for you that we want you to try, because it involves all of the great vegetables and seafood from Florida, and it's all included in this one recipe.
Yes, it's called shrimp ceviche. I love how that's...
You like to say in that
I know,
word.
ceviche. Anyway, and these are all the ingredients right here. I mean, we have an avocado and an onion and an heirloom tomato and shrimp and cilantro and so much more. So we're going to go through that real quickly with you, because it's a very easy dish to make. And what really makes it easier is when you have somebody else chop it all up for you ahead of time and put them in all these little bowls. It really makes it easy.
It does make it easy. And so we're going to start out with our bowl with some chopped avocado.
Chopped avocado, and then we're going to add some shrimp. Yes, and the one thing about shrimp, we're using cooked shrimp, but you can use raw seafood if you put it in and marinate it in citrus juices overnight in lemon or lime juice. That helps to cure the protein, so you can use that as well.
Yeah, so one or the other, but I'd like to use cooked seafood.
Okay, I'm after that.
All right, I'm going to use some cilantro.
There we go. And we got some heirloom tomato here, which is awesome.
And some onions.
Yep. Ooh. And we got some garlic that we're throwing in there.
Okay, we're going to use a lime, and I'm going to show you, this is a great way to use the juice from a lime. We just hold the lime over the top edge of the blade, not the sharp part, but we just...
Not the sharp side, so that the juice runs down the knife.
Right, see it?
Right,
see it?
we need to do one more of those.
Okay, I'll do one more. Boy, they're slippery. Okay, here we go.
Here we go, do one more. And Anna, that's not a knife.
It's not.
No, that's a knife. I'm telling you what now.
Okay, Dundee. That's
you
good.
got it.
All
now
right.
we want to use a little pepper and salt.
And
so we'll sprinkle it in there.
I love the olive oil.
And a shot of salt. I like that.
Okay.
You can also have some wine with this. It's also very good, either white or red wine, depending upon what your personal choice is. I'm going to put the salt in there, and then we're going to mix it all up.
I'll let you do the honors.
Okay, here we go. It's very easy to put together.
And then we have some French baguettes. These are garlic bread rounds, and they are delicious. We've already tried these.
Oh yeah.
So,
if you'll get the glasses over here, we'll get this thing served up real quick.
Oh, it smells good.
Oh, I know. It really is. Okay. If we put some biscuits in there.
Okay.
Here you go.
So Hang on.
Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, this is looking really, really, really good.
I think our presentation is good.
This is very good. This is very good. I want you to know we're getting close to the end here, but it's a very simple recipe, all fresh ingredients from Florida.
All right, let's try a little bit of this.
I think we should. Okay. Yeah, we have to do that.
Excuse my fingers. Okay. Good? I know it's good.
Very good. Well,
you tell them how to get the recipe.
Get the recipe at www.agelessinamerica.org, and stay tuned for the Digital Minute coming up next.
Good, good, good.
Happy eating.
I'm Chucha Barber, and this is my son, Ryan Barber. And we are a generation apart when it comes to technology. And that's why we've created a few digital minutes to help people like me better understand the devices that I have in my life that are based on technology.
Well, I'm happy to help. Hey, Mom.
I appreciate it. So here's the deal, Ryan. I want to get a new computer. It happens to be a new, very thin, very lightweight computer. We won't plug the brand. But what I want to do is I want to transfer the information that I've been accumulating over years from my existing system to my new computer, the part that I want to keep, and I want to get rid of, like spring cleaning.
Absolutely.
So how do I get started?
Well, buying a new computer or device is a great opportunity to do just that. Basically, clean up your current system. Oftentimes, our systems get bogged down and slow down because we have so much data and information saved on the device's hard drive. So my first recommendation when transferring data from one computer or device to another is the purchase of an external hard drive. We have an example here. They make many shapes and sizes and right capacities. Appreciate that you can buy as little as a few hundred gigabytes to terabytes, which are basically just data storage, right?
Well, what do you think a person like me needs?
Well, I might suggest somewhere between 500 gigabytes and a terabyte. Think of it this way. A terabyte will probably last you a really long time. But what's effective about an external hard drive is that, one, you can take your data with you, so it becomes portable, and you can share it across other devices, but it just makes file transfer easier. And then lastly, as it relates to the performance of your computer, it frees up a lot of that internal running or performance, right? By saving it to a third-party hard drive, your computer is not bogged down with that. So I'll show you an example as to how we do it. So we have this particular hard drive plugged in, and it reads here, TMH Portable Drive 1. You can name it whatever you want. And then we have an example of a piece of data that we want to save to. It's as simple as dragging and dropping.
Wow. Okay.
And then once it goes in there, I can open up my external hard drive and then go find that.
So when I get my new computer, I just plug in the hard drive to the new computer and transfer everything to the new computer that I want to keep.
To the new hard drive. That's correct.
Well, I just thought after the hard drive, it's going to go to my new computer.
Well, no, and the reason for that is because you don't want to transfer the data off of the hard drive to your new computer, because you'll just be bogging down the new computer in the same way that your first might have been. So you can just run all of your data off the hard drive to save up some of that storage space.
Okay, what about my emails? Can I do that too?
Yeah, but we'll save that for another digital minute.
Oh, man. I knew this was going to take a while.
Well, welcome back to Ageless in America. Now we're going to be talking about the Claude Pepper Foundation in Tallahassee, Florida, and how they are continuing the legacy of a man who fought fiercely for the rights of the elderly. And we're going to be talking with Dr. Larry Polifka about some of the social security issues that really affect us all. Let's take a listen.
When you go home tonight and you close your eyes and sleep and you ask, what have I done today to lighten the burden upon those who suffer? At least you can say, I helped a little bit today. I voted to help those who needed help. It may not answer all the problems, and it doesn't, but it'll give comfort. It will cool the brow of many who suffer. It will give hope to many who are most in despair.
Senator Claude Pepper was a public servant, a progressive-minded statesman. He sponsored legislation to promote equal rights, civil rights, and workers' rights, gaining international fame and recognition for his advocacy on behalf of senior citizens. A lasting legacy to the man and his values, the Claude Pepper Foundation dedicates all of its activities to sustaining the legacy of Senator Pepper, including his important views regarding respect for elders. The Pepper Foundation also created and funded the Pepper Institute on Aging, a multidisciplinary group of researchers dedicated to examining the issues impacting the elderly. Housed in a single building, the center consists of the Claude Pepper Library and a museum, the Pepper Institute on Aging, the Pepper Data Center, and the Pepper Endowed Chair. The facility is located on the prestigious campus of Florida State University, a few blocks from the Florida capital.
Well, welcome back to Ageless in America. Anna Johnson here with my co-host Lou Wilson, and I think we've got an interesting topic for you during this segment. The Claude Pepper Center, in their research, found out that over 70% of retirees depend on Social Security for their income in the later years. And Dr. Larry Prolifka joins us. Larry is the director of the Claude Pepper Center that's located on the FSU campus in Tallahassee. Larry, I mean, that's even hard for me to say, 70%.
Yes, and it's been a high percentage for a long time. I mean, Social Security really went into effect in 1940 with the first payments. But it appears that over the last 30 years or so, that the percentage of people depending on Social Security for most of their income in retirement is increasing. And some of the projections we've seen in our work at the Pepper Center indicate that that percentage is going to continue to increase even through the retirement of the baby boom generation. So what that means in effect is that Social Security, as important as it has been historically in ensuring retirement security, is going to be even more important to more people in the future than it has been in the past or today.
Well, what makes me mad is every time something happens with the budget, the first thing politicians say, oh, they scare seniors by saying, we're going to have to cut Social Security.
I find that to be a real concern as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when you recognize that the need for it is increasing,
yeah.
And at the same time you've got some policymakers talking about how we've got to cut it because it's not sustainable over the next 20, 30 years, that raises a real concern. I mean, we've had a certain amount of erosion in the private sector retirement in terms of pensions, moving from what are called defined benefit guaranteed pensions to defined contributions, which depend on how your money does in the stock market or the equities market over a period of the time you're working, maybe 30, 40 years. That's a big difference from what their parents, from the parents of workers today. Most of them had a defined benefit guaranteed pension with the companies they worked with. That has changed dramatically since 1980 in just a little over 30 years. Now, today, only 17% of the workers have a defined benefits guaranteed pension. Most of them had defined contributions. And historically, at least for the last 30 years, those pensions have not performed as well as the guaranteed pensions of the past. So that's one of the reasons we've got this gradually increasing reliance on Social Security, the public source of pension, income. And it's projected to increase. So that means that making Social Security strong, ensuring its solvency is more important today than it was 20 years ago. Yeah. It'll be more important in 20 years from now than it is today. That's what we should be serious about.
But how do we do that?
Yeah. Well, you've had the effort, frankly, to cut Social Security in any significant way whether it's to cut the benefits or to increase the retirement age beyond the 68 that will eventually kick in as a result of the Greenspan Commission from 83. There have been efforts, there have been initiatives to make reductions, and they haven't worked. And they haven't worked, I think, in large measure because policymakers, congresspeople, hear back from their constituents. Yeah. You know, you cut this, what are we going to do? What are our parents going to do? And that has caused serious pause so far in any effort to significantly reduce the program.
Let me tell you, this is a very important topic, so we'd like to have you back soon to talk about this and what we can do. I mean, I hate that fact that 70% live on Social Security. So.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll be back. Well, welcome back to Ageless in America. We do hope you've enjoyed our show today. We had a little music. We showed you a great recipe. We had interesting guests. I think we covered a lot, Lou. And want to backtrack on anything?
Backtrack? That reminds me of 8-track tapes. Do you still have any of those?
Oh, my. I have some in my house, actually.
Speaking of backtrack, that's a great way to end the show.
We can do that.
Yeah, why don't we backtrack to a moment in time and share that with everybody?
Okay, we can do that.
That's great.
So thank you all so much for joining us on today's show. And remember,
stay active
and stay healthy. So long, everybody.